I'd like to take you through my book called RealCourage. It was written in 7 parts. This is part 1, just an overview. We've got to talk about fear and anxiety. It is the epidemic of our times. I do this by looking at the life of Jacob. In part 1 in particular, he gets the news that Esau, his brother, is coming to meet him with an army of 400 men. This, like David facing his Goliath, this is Jacob facing an enemy bigger than himself. And in Genesis 32 and verse 7, it says these words, "Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed." This is a gift to us. We actually find a man of God full of faith and full of fear at the same time. Now, when this happens, the first thing I always say is, we never walk alone. The second thing I say is we always turn to the Lord and His Scriptures when we're dealing with this issue of fear and anxiety in ourselves. And what the Scriptures do is that they reveal the promises of God to us. And that's the story where we begin of Jacob's life. He has got an extraordinary record behind him. He's got promises from his mother, who said that one day he would actually rule over his brother Esau. Second, we've got his father giving him the blessing of Abraham, though it was by deceptive means, yet it was irrevocable that Jacob had the blessing of Abraham upon his life. Third, the Lord met him at Bethel when he was running from his brother, and at Bethel gave him the promises that he would return to the promised land safely. 4, while away with his uncle Laban, the Lord met him at the end of 20 years and promised him safe return. When Laban came against him, the Lord protected Jacob. Mitzpah, he watched over Jacob and stood to protect him. And finally, we find as Genesis 32 begins, that the angels of God, an army of angels, appeared to Jacob. My friends, what could be better than that? He who is for us is greater than he who is against us. He had a band of angels with him. Why did that not give him peace in the midst of fear? But it did not. Is it possible that you and I can be full of faith and be full of fear at the same time? And if so, what do we do about it? That's part 1.